Hello, the game has started. It's me to go fast. I've got an unbingo-y rack, but I've got good scoring tiles in the Z and other high-scoring consonants. So, what options do I have? I've got a vise keeping BC. Is there something better? I've got bays keeping CV, but scoring more. Do I have anything which places the Z on the double letter square? Nearly Kesvi. Well, I feel there is something here and I'm not seeing it. There's something I think is either on my rack or very close to what's on my rack. C and V lacks synergy. But if I play bays, I'm playing 3 vowels. Kesvi is, I think, what I was thinking about. 18 minutes on my clock. Or, what I could do is just play Biz, keeping the board tight and keeping the vowels to go with C and V. Biz does take an E, but I've got one of those. This is a really tricky opening rack. I think I will err on the side of the short word. I have cavitied and vitiated and vaticide through the eye, which would all remain available if my opponent avails himself of the E hook for Biz. And he does. Fantastic. He scores 47 points, but I am able to bingo. Now, is there a better bingo than the ones I've mentioned in column 8? I'm looking in row E for through the A of Waxia. There may be something there. I would have advection onto ON. Can't see anything through the W. So I think I am going to play through the I. Now what's best? Probably best if I play higher up and don't allow an S hook. So vitiated is better than vaticide because of the S hook. And I don't think there's much between this and cavitied. 66 points. Not good. 2 U's. And the W. The remaining 4 tiles are good. So this may be worth changing. Ulu is on my rack. Ovula doesn't work in row E. Buys takes an S. My U could go after the X. So I'm looking to see if I have a 4-letter play, LU something S. And I don't think I do. Just wondering if I have a WU play, and I can't see one, apart from wuss, but that doesn't place the S next to buys. Can't see anything through the D. don't have anything which goes after the W, so anything in column 11 has to begin next to the A. If I played UTS, I'd be keeping UW. So although it's 30 points, I don't think it's preferable to changing, but maybe it is. Yeah, UTS would keep WAUL, which is in fact a word. So maybe UTS is better than changing. That's been taken out. Nothing goes in front of C. And only my T goes next to AR. So I can't play wall in that spot. I could play wall down here. And this has some merit in that I have an S. This is quite an aggressive move. But I've got the S. So my opponent has either got to block that straight away with an S or a K, or I have the opportunity of playing in that spot. 16 points. Yeah, I think that's okay. I draw another U, which is annoying. I don't have a bingo. I've got the out prefix. I'm just wondering if I can place my B on the double letter square in row A. Well, there goes my spot and both blanks. 73 points for my opponent. He's now got a 29-point lead. So that didn't work out. Now how to resolve the rack. Again, I'm in the situation of having two U's. This is quite a hot spot, except the X has gone, although a Q there could score 60 points. I'm looking at my rack to see if I have a bingo down onto the E or the R. Can't see one. 15 minutes on my clock. Now, where can I play these U's? Through a T, I would have 2-2. I can't put the S next to buys, although I have got an E to go after re. I can't then get rid of the U's. Now, shall I change? Tempting. I think I will. This is a tricky rack to deal with, and if I change and keep just EST, that's a very strong three-letter rack leave. And I draw the Q, and with an I, so I do have Chi and Chi above Solida if it stays available. If it doesn't, I can play my Q next to the I vitiated, but I can't see a way of getting much more. I could play Caddy, which is slightly better. So I'm not stuck with the Q, but my rack leave won't be particularly great, whatever I play. However, if I can play Chi and Chi, I'll get a fantastic score. "14 minutes on my clock. In a way, it's good that both blanks have gone, because that reduces the possibility of my opponent bingoing again. At the moment, I still feel in touch. So chi and chi, 63 points if it stays available. I can't see anywhere to play my cue apart from the places I've mentioned. Now, if I held on to the cue, what can I score with the M and the T? Well, my T could go next to woe, but tet's probably the best I can manage. Only 21 points, so it would be preferable to play the cue off. My opponent's taking a while with this move. Nearly used as much time as I have. Maybe they'll feel inspired by my change to change their own tiles. Ah, look at that. Chi twice has been blocked. Now, I have a choice of playing just chi for 31 or cat for 24, and I'm going to play cat because although it's 7 points less and the duplicate T is only worth about 5 points, this rack leave, 5-letter rack leave, is significantly better than this rack leave with an extra T because as a 5-letter set, it has a lot of bingo potential. So, do I have a bingo? This looks close. I can't see a 7. And there's not many floaters to consider. My opponent does change now. I could play yeast in column 14 and cats. 45 points. That would put me back into the lead. But this is such a good rack. Maybe I can do better than that. I'm looking in column 12 to see if I can play parallel to core. Placing either my Y next to AR or placing it on this double letter square. So if teamy were a word, that would be quite good. I have Etimer in that spot. And that has merit, and it's retaining the S, which I'd like to do for the cat hook. So this is wrecking the rack, which is a shame. 37 points is a good score. And this will take me into the lead. I'm just wondering if I do have a 7-letter anagram here. An anagram of mayest or yamiest. Have I considered all the floaters? Oh, well, there's the L, through which I would have playtimes or Taylisim or Steamily. I think I have Steamily. Yes, fantastic. Well, that one nearly passed me by. Steamily 85, fantastic. Just pausing in case there's something else I've overlooked, but I don't think if there were anything it would score better, so I think I will go with this. And I pick the U back out of the bag. I have the OUS ending, so I'm close to invious, not quite there. In this context, the V may be useful as a scoring tile. I'm expecting my opponent to play in the bottom left, taking out that triple word square. But I've drawn another S, which is good for the cat hook. And my opponent doesn't take that out. So, can I play there to good effect? And to good effect would be placing my V on this double letter square. No, I don't have anything there. Which means I probably am not going to be using that spot. I could play there something like Venus, but it's not getting tripled. Just wondering how to sort this rack out. I'd like to play off O, U, and V. And it doesn't matter if I open a triple word square somewhere else, given how hot column 1 is. 10 minutes on my clock. This is a pretty awful pickup. So, how to deal with it? I don't have to play the V, but I'm looking at the V because of its score. Because this is my only scoring tile. I can't see anything going through WO. Maybe I should change, get rid of OUV or OOUV. Often when I change, it turns out to be suboptimal. Viso isn't good. Gosh, tricky rack. What about just playing iron? I have a slender lead. I think it's just reckless leaving that spot available. It's so easy for my opponent to score 40 or 50 points. This kills it. And it sorts out my rack a little bit. In that it gets rid of the duplicate O and addresses the vowel consonant balance. But I don't like it at all. Just don't like keeping U and V. Right, let's roll the dice. Ah, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. I have patines in column 14 and panties and probably a few other anagrams. Do I have a 9 timer in column 1? Or even just a bingo in column 1? So it's panties, patines, sapient, and I don't think, well, does sapient take an S? It might do. Ah, stiapsin. Stiapsin. Yeah, that does go. Well, that's what I thought might happen. That was the risk of changing. But I do now have a bingo. I don't have a bingo playable in column 12 because there's only 6 available squares. So I can pluralize cat, but I don't double the play, and I'll be opening up column 15. Or I can find a play through E and A. I've only got 7 minutes on my clock, and there's 37 tiles in the bag, which is a lot. So, what do I have? Anything onto the E. I'm 15 points behind anything onto the A. I can't see anything there. Any bingo lanes I've overlooked. Just column 2, but column 14 is similar but better. So panties, patines. Panties places the A next to the triple word square. That's just inviting a 40 or 50 point response. Spinate is also good. Well, time is pressing. If I played Spinate and FE, I'd be placing an I next to the triple word square, so similar problem. And another horror show of a rack. I've drawn the VU that I chucked. But the H's and V are scoring tiles, and I can play have down here, which splits up the U and the V. Great, only 34 points for my opponent. That could have been a lot worse. Now, as the dust settles, I am 25 points ahead. I note that my H can go in front of OWE, but nothing goes in front of J or TAD, so that's not going to be worth much. 5 minutes on my clock. So this is what I was thinking of. Again, placing an A next to a premium square, making it easy for my opponent to score. That's not ideal. I can't see... Oh, I've got an H for going in front of CH, so does that help? Well, I could play Heth down here. 42 points. I think that's the score there. Definitely justifies that move. I'm playing quickly now because of I haven't got much time left. Awful rack. But I've now got a 60-point lead to defend. The only bingo lanes are through columns 2, 3 and 4. So I'll be looking to take those out. And I can do something about that by playing Fave, which stays available. Only 24 points for my opponent, that's good. Or, if I just played in column 3 beginning with a V, that would also be killing. Or, what about EAU across here? Now, there's only one thing this doesn't do. So that's 16 points, which is good. What it doesn't do is take out column 2. So column 2 remains available as a bingo lane, but any bingo there is going to open up column 1. Remaining tiles, pretty bingo-y. So what I could do now is play something like Vi down here to take out that bingo lane. I've got Video and Dovey on my rack. The V and the I are vitiated are not a problem in terms of floaters. Very few bingos end V or I. Though is probably my best play down here. Very bingo-y remaining tiles, but my opponent could be played with duplicates. And if he hasn't got a bingo, he may struggle to score, because look at the scoring tiles. There's only 2, the B and the M, worth more than 2 points. CH takes a number of vowels after it, but Woe only takes D and S. Art takes an I after it. So I can use that spot myself. I could play Vid. Actually, I'm not sure about Woad. Woad may not be good. It might be just an S that it takes. Bised, is that good? I'm going to challenge that. I'm not totally sure. No, it's not. Fantastic. Great. That puts me in a good position now. This takes out the bingo lane in column 2. 3 minutes on the clock. What I could do is play Vi, and the advantage of playing Vi is that it stops my opponent playing across the top. Though, as it stands, takes an E in front. So if my opponent played across the top here, he could be creating 2 bingo lanes. But if I play Vi, I keep double O. So I think I will, and if my opponent does open by playing in row I, he won't be scoring very much. Pretty good. Is unoiled good? I think it is. It doesn't play at the moment, but if my opponent plays across row I, it may be playable. He doesn't. So I'm now 60 odd points ahead. 2 minutes on my clock, 13 tiles in the bag. Just wondering about playing down here, but woad isn't good. I'm also very mindful of the time. Double A takes L after it. Takes U. What about something beginning with the K? Well, I can see KR, KO. Can't see anything great there. 2 minutes on my clock. I'm wondering about playing across from CH for the score. So I could play child, but then it's a very poor rack leave, and I'm providing something easy for my opponent. I'm not going to do that. So what about playing Dewey? Gives nothing away. Decent rack leave. Dag, it, all good. 15 point. Ooh. That's better. 15 points. 1 minute 38 on my clock. Awful pickup. Duplicates. I do, however, get one of the 2 scoring tiles, the B being the other. No bingo lanes are open on this board. It's been a complete lockdown. But I'm 79 points ahead. My opponent ought to be opening the board. One way of doing that is by playing in row I above Vo. Now I need to be mindful of the time. Gooned, I think that's good. Now Moellon is good. Well, I'm not going to open up column 1. 1 minute on the clock. The trouble with playing down here is that I'm opening up column 4 as a bingo lane. So I think this is better, even though it's keeping all the duplicates. Although actually this is awful. Well, it may be awful, but I think it's winning. There are no bingo lanes on this board. Unless my opponent plays through the G. Okay, no tiles left. I can see what he's got. He hasn't got a bingo. "20 seconds on my clock." Ooh, that's awful. "7 seconds left. I think I am going to go overtime here. I haven't left myself an out. Lynn takes a B in front, so that wasn't great. But I'm 70 points ahead. I don't think my opponent's going to be bingoing with this unless I've overlooked something. Oh, and I have. He's got subgenre in row B. Will he see that? That will be a painful end. He's got 9 minutes to find sub-genre anagram of sun-grebe. Ah, how annoying. And that will probably win. Yeah, because I'm only 70 points ahead. Well, that shows how time pressure can make you Great, he hasn't spotted it. Fantastic. Oops, I'm over time. Never mind. ENS left. So if I play Lear across here, I've got at least 2 spots for the N. Well, I got out of jail there. Subgenre would have won, and I should have blocked it. Okay, pass to end the game. And the final score, 388 to my opponent, 409 to me. A winning margin of 21 points. A very close game. Let's see what I missed. Goond wasn't good. Ouch. Okay. Me to go first. Well, the elusive word I was looking for clearly doesn't exist because there's nothing better than a vise on offer. My opponent plays Waxia, and I had the bingos mentioned. My opponent has a great rack, a bunch of bingos, none of which he plays, but looking at them, they're not particularly common words. This is my rack, pretty awful. And I played Wall for 16, and I still think it's the right play. Now my opponent does bingo. This is my rack. Woobut, that's nice. D10. Ah, yeah, across here for 24 points. Fairly decent rack leave. What did I do? I changed. Yeah. Woobut, I think, is better than changing. The rest are doubtful. L3 Boutard. Yeah, Boutard probably better than changing as well. My opponent's rack, not good. But he used it and inadvertently blocked my chi play. And these were the 2 options I was considering, chi and cat. And I still prefer cat. Horrible rack for my opponent. This is when he changed. And this was my rack, and it took me a while, but I did find steamily in the end. My opponent's rack, he plays Jot, and now this wasn't good. And I think this is where I changed. Yes, I did. So what I could have done is play Convo C11. I don't particularly like that. Opening up column 15. And then O1 Iron is the move I considered but didn't like keeping VU. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with changing there, I think. My opponent plays Fisk. And now, well, there were no bingos other than the ones I saw. My opponent plays Fag. And now we're not close to the end game. There's still 27 tiles left, but my mind at this point is turning to closing the board down, which I was looking down here, but I think this is where I played Heth. Yeah, because the points justified it. Close the board down next go. My opponent plays Yaud. And now this is where I closed the board down. And I think all of these plays are up the top right, taking advantage of the CH hook, but I prefer my play. My opponent phonied here with BZ. Beast, rather. This was my rack, and though that's not where I played it, I didn't play it up here. I played it at J2, and I still like that play, taking out the only bingo lane. My opponents played Doc. I have unoiled, nowhere to play it. I don't play Dewey up here, I play it down here. That's fine. This is where my opponent played Goons, and annoyingly I didn't challenge it off, but that's what happened. I was very short on time, 1.5 minutes left. And wow, look at that, Mennings. What a great play that would have been. Mennings really nice, except that it's leaving open the G and the O for bingos, so not so good. B13 me. Okay, I'm looking for plays which block bingos. So I played Mo. That was suboptimal because of the front hooks for Mo. This is what my opponent's got. He played chain. Now I can see what my opponent's got. I should be able to see he's got subgenre. I should be blocking that. Instead, I do something for almost nothing over in the top right. Let's see what's being recommended. Well, yeah, I don't see anything here which achieves what I want. I'm not sure if there's a 7-letter bingo here, so I'd be reluctant to play in column 5 in case I inadvertently provided a bingo lane in column 4. Very difficult to deal with this situation when you're short on time. And I don't really have any blocking tiles on my rack, so if I'd seen subgenre, I think I would have been, before playing, I think I would have been in a tough position trying to decide what to do. Anyway, I didn't see it, I didn't block it. I played Lin, and there is that bingo. Oh, only 68 points because it doesn't get doubled. So, would my opponent have won? He'd have got 68. Yeah, 406 he would have won. Anyway, he played Rube for 27. This was my rack. I was short on time, and I could have gone out with Lenga. Okay, so that was poor. And finally, my opponent plays out. So a very tight end game with errors by both of us, but that often happens in Scrabble. The end game is when you're short on time, and it's also the time when you generally need time to think through complex lines of play. But that's one of the inherent elements of Scrabble. If you play quickly early on, you may make suboptimal moves, but you'll be saving time for later. It's a matter of trying to get the balance right, which is why on occasions I will play moves quickly early on, even though there may be slightly better ones, to try and stop the clock to save time for the sort of situation which occurred in this game. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.